everyone, and welcome to this week's short artist vlog. I hope you've been well, and I hope wherever you are you've had some lovely weather. It's actually been gorgeous here in Suffolk in the UK, and in today's vlog I'll be sharing with you what I've been up to the past few weeks, including some mixed media art. Plus, in the spirit of Spring Watch, James, my husband, had a brilliant idea, and he has started to film our bird table to get some close-ups of our robins and garden birds. I'll make sure to add any future clips of any good shots we get. I'm currently obsessed with this, so hopefully we'll get some more. And speaking of birds, I've been working on my latest bird drawing of an adorable little bird called a Fairywren, which are originally from Australia. Their blue feathers are so vibrant. I can't remember who pointed me in this direction. I know it was a comment on one of my videos, so thank you if that was you. I could not resist painting this little bird. And as you may know, I've started a YouTube series called Practical Sketchbook Magic. Nothing serious, just me having fun in my sketchbook, playing around with all kinds of art supplies, including watercolour. And by doing this, I think I've started to get the watercolour bug again. So I wanted to add a nice soft background with watercolour, just like I did with my hair drawing. And then I'll do the rest of the bird with colour pencils. I used Daniel Smith's lavender for the background with wet on wet technique, and I think it really worked quite well because of the thickness of this paper. It's the hot press Fabriano Artistico, but it's a really thick version, the 640 GSM. I don't know why I was so impressed with how it handled watercolour. It's obviously going to be good because it's watercolour paper. I think it was because I've been using this paper for colour pencils, as you can get a lot of layers, the pencil layers on it. But of course, it's hot pressed watercolour paper. This is what it's made for. And I really liked how it handled the wet on wet. And I'll be definitely using this again for watercolour painting, that's for sure. I feel like it's been ages since my last vlog, and to be honest, it's not all been positive when it comes to making art. Like most artists, I've been battling Imposter Syndrome, and I thought it'd be a good idea to actually talk about it in this vlog. If you're not familiar with the term Imposter Syndrome, it's when you feel like you're not good enough to call yourself an artist, basically. Even when, you're skilled or successful, many artists, including myself, might think that they don't deserve the praise they receive, or that you've just been lucky and not talented. We can't help but hold ourselves to high standards, expecting every piece to be flawless, and when the final result doesn't meet our expectations, it can feel a bit of a failure rather than a learning experience, which it should be. Obviously, this mindset can create stress, making it harder to enjoy the creative process, and over time this pressure can lead to burnout and can make you feel anxious, and it might stop you from sharing your work with other people, or even make you want to quit creating altogether. Ironically, art is often seen as a therapeutic escape, a way to express emotions, relieve stress, and you find joy in just the creative process. This is how it's meant to be. It's how I got into it, and basically why I got into art. However, when things don't go as planned, when the drawing doesn't turn out right, or we make irreversible mistakes, it can be very frustrating. Everybody has bad art days. It's completely normal, and it does affect our mood and mental health. There's no stopping it. You're obviously very passionate about something and it's not going the way you want it. So obviously you're going to have these feelings, but there are ways to cope with these feelings. First, it's important to remember that every artist, no matter how skilled, experiences setbacks. mistakes and imperfect drawings are part of the creative journey. So instead of viewing them as failures, we should see them as opportunities to learn and grow from. Taking breaks can also help reset the mind. Stepping away from the artwork for a while and do something completely different. Go for a walk, read a book, do a different craft, or binge Netflix if you can ever find something to watch on there. It's a bit sparse at the moment. But take your mind off your art for a while. It will really help. Personally, I always end up reminding myself why I started drawing in the first place. To help me relax, to get my mind off work, and to help me shift my focus from perfection to creativity. And yeah, I hope that helps. And lastly, but probably most importantly, seeking support from fellow artists can provide massive encouragement. Who better to share your art problems with than other artists? They're there with you having the same struggles. It has done wonders for me, and one of the reasons why I started this YouTube channel. I wanted to share my struggles and receive feedback, or simply venting frustrations that can help lighten a burden. And this is why, even when I don't really like a piece of art I've done, I still want to share it. Okay, you don't have to do what I do and share it with the whole YouTube world, but you could just show your partner or your friend, because I think discussing why you don't like a piece of art is just as important as discussing the parts that you like. Fighting imposter syndrome as an artist begins with recognising that self-doubt is a common part of the creative journey, and it's not a sign that you're a fraud. Instead of comparing your work to others, focus on your own growth and the unique perspective that only you could bring. And it's good to celebrate the small wins, even if that win is just showing up to create a load of old nonsense. Some days you showed up and basically put paint to paper. Because the more time we give ourselves to our art practice, the more we learn from it. It's the only way we develop as artists. Also, make sure you share your work, even when it's uncomfortable, which is what I've done recently in my practical sketchbook magic episode. I wasn't really happy with my painting of my greenhouse, and I didn't really like my plants, but I felt like I could have done a lot better. But then I had to remind myself that the reason I started this series was to loosen up in my sketchbook and play with my art supplies. That's basically it. That's the plan. Anything else that comes from that is just a bonus. But yeah, it's a place not to be perfect. And I just have to remember that. And now, when I look back at that particular page in my sketchbook, I start to see elements that I actually like. And I could have ripped that whole page clean out of my sketchbook and no one would have been the wiser. But that's not what it's about. That's not what this series is about anyway. My new series, Practical Sketchbook Magic. If you haven't seen it, please go and have a look at the playlist I've put together. It's all about learning and exploring new techniques. So, yeah. Anyway, I think I've rambled off long enough today, but I thought it was worth sharing my struggles and my aim to hopefully try and connect with as many artists who understand the same struggle. And remember, the fact that you question yourself and have these doubts means that you care deeply about what you're creating, and I believe passion is a strength and not a weakness. I hope it doesn't feel like I've just ranted through this whole vlog, but I just wanted to share with you my thoughts on this subject, as I know a lot of artists go through these negative phases and end up questioning their own abilities, which for me personally, I think it's a regular problem, especially when I'm putting these videos together. I'm so out of my depth, but yeah, and I know I'm not perfect, and I've got a lot of work to do on improving my confidence in my art and in myself. But we're getting better, and that's all we can ask really, isn't it? On a slow improvement. So I hope you liked this vlog, and please don't forget to watch out for my new sketchbook art series. This week I have pulled out my gouache paints and I've had a play with them, which has been really fun. And I've ordered some acrylic gouache paints too as a early birthday treat to myself. Acrylic gouache is something I really wanted to try for ages, and it seems like the next natural step for me. And finally, this is my finished Fairywren. All shades of blue and very cute. Let me know what you think of him, and if you think I should do another watercolour background in my next piece. And as always, thank you for keeping me company today. If you've enjoyed this vlog, please subscribe to my channel to see any future content. Until next time, please take care and bye for now.